everybody, and welcome to CasaLoud Chats, a podcast dedicated to Nickelodeon's The Casagrandes and the Loud House universe. And I'm your host, Sunny. And welcome to episode 45 of CasaLoud Chats. And today I have a very special guest with me today, my second special guest of 2021, and the first time guest actually. You might know this person on Twitter. He does a lot of amazing art in the fandom, or in other fandoms as well, but they're amazing artists. I can't praise their art enough, but they're an amazing artist, and I'm so excited to have them on as a guest. It is Ink. Welcome to my show, Ink.
Uh, hey everybody, how's it going?
How are you doing? I'm really excited to have you on, especially because I'm such a huge fan of your art. Like, I really am, so I'm just really excited to have you on.
Thanks. I'm really excited to be here too.
Yeah, so obviously there's probably gonna be people out there who know who you are, because obviously you don't do a lot of great art for various fandoms besides the Loud House. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Um, let's see. I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there know me as Ink or Inkling Bear from pretty much everywhere, but I'm an I do a lot of artwork, especially on the Loud House, sometimes the Casagrandes, and especially my new favorite comfort show named Bluey. I'm pretty sure a lot of people's heard of that, but not only that, I also write fan fictions and stuff. I'm currently working on a novel at the moment, and as well as do music sometimes. I used to do it a lot back in the day, but I barely do that as of now.
Well, that's really cool though, because again, your art, like even Loud House or Bluey or whatever you draw, is just fantastic. I've been a fan of your art for like a very long time. And I even commissioned you recently, and I loved it. Like, you are so talented. Like, I remember like you drew something for like the Loud House anniversary, I think, and you drew all the characters together, and I thought it was actually like official art. That's how great your art is.
I try.
So, are you now? I'm sorry to ask this question to my guest now. Well, what got you interested in the Loud House of the Casagrandes? Like, what got you interested in becoming a fan of those shows?
It's if my memory serves correctly, it's been it's a kind of a funny story actually. It started off back in like mid to 2017 when I was in a hotel room and they had when I was actually I was in a hotel room all by myself. I got like a solo bedroom and everything, and wanted to watch some TV one day, and the only channel they had for cartoons was Nickelodeon, and the Loud House. Well, that's all they had on at the time. So basically, I mean, I didn't have a choice, but I kind of wanted to like watch some cartoons basically. So basically, that's all that came on. Uh, Also, another factor that played into this was I was commenting on a pony picture that seemed a little too uh, something, but and then a friend of mine from the fandom that I was into before this show, the pony fandom, uh, that he commented on my reply with a picture of Lincoln Loud, and then and I got kind of so embarrassed a little bit, but apparently, ever since I saw that face, I kind of got curious as time went on, but I never seemed to care for it at the time. When, but the ever since I went down to a hotel, I just got even more curious and wanted to see what the show is like, and I guess that's how I got here.
That's quite a story you got there. I love learning about how people got into the show, and that's kind of a funny story that like you kind of find out about Lincoln, and then you're like, maybe I should check out the show more, and that's a very interesting story. I really like that.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be jumping into some news about both shows, so let's get into some Casa news! Alright, so as of today, as we're recording, it's Friday we're recording, and today we're going to be having more brand new episodes of The Loud House and the Casagrandes, of course, at the same time. For The Loud House, we're having the 2 new episodes, the Lenny episode where she runs for mayor, and the Lisa episode where she teaches her class. Are you excited for the new episodes of The Loud House coming out tonight?
I am very interested to see where these go.
Is there one you're looking forward to the most?
Probably the Lenny one.
Oh yeah, we're all excited for the Letty one where she becomes mayor. It's gonna be very interesting, that's for sure. And then, of course, we have more new episodes of Casagrandes, as we're having the Fool's Gold episode, the one about Hector, Carl, CJ, and Carlos searching for gold, and then, or Panchavilla's lost gold. And then Flight Plan, the one about Carl, CJ, and Carlitos trying to sneak on to Frida and Carlos's plane ride. Are you also excited for the Casagrande episodes too?
Yep.
All right, yes, it's a good answer. Yeah, I'm really excited for all these episodes. I mean, I'm a little upset Rodian won't be in any of the Casagrande ones, but you know what can you do on that? We also have the title cards and sneak peeks for both of those for all those episodes. I will link those in the description for this episode. All right, then jumping over to more Loud House news. On Monday the 8th, which is going to be when the new game show Tuned In airs at 5:30, at 4:30, we're having more new episodes of the Loud House as a lead-in for this game show, which, you know, Nickelodeon likes to do. So we have 2 new episodes coming out on Monday, which is Zack Attack, which is Zack and Rusty fake an alien landing that sends the whole town on a hunt for little green men. So are you excited for the Zack episode coming out?
It sounds interesting, so yeah.
Yeah, it does, especially because this is going to be him and Rusty's first focus episode, which I kind of like. You know, I like that season 5 is giving more the side characters more focus than just Lincoln, so it's going to be really cool that these two finally, or Zack mostly, but also Rusty, get a focus episode for once in the show, for sure. And then the next episode will be Flying Solo. Clyde thinks that he's a shoo-in for the Glee Club until Lincoln accidentally auditions and lands the part. So are you excited for this episode? Because I sure am really excited for this episode.
That one sounds like it could be a challenge for Lincoln's selfishness, so I'll see where that goes as well.
Oh, you know, I didn't think about that with Lincoln being kind of selfish, because it says he accidentally auditioned, so maybe he doesn't know, but maybe once him and Clyde start arguing again, like an episode we'll talk about later, then they'll probably start acting super selfish. So I kind of like that idea, but I'm just so excited because I get to see Lincoln sing again in the show. That's what I'm most excited for. Okay, and then so those episodes will be airing this, as I post this, it'll be this week on the 8th of Monday for Tune In. But then the week after, we have a little break of that week, and then the week after, we get brand new episodes of the Casagrandes, which I talked about on the Monday the 15th. We'll get Meal Ticket, because that episode, I can't spoil anything for, is connected to the Loud House Mega Musical Countdown, which is just going to be a marathon of all the episodes with musical numbers in it, which Carlos Penvega, the voice of Bobby, is hosting that day. So that's going to be pretty exciting to have that, and also a new episode of Casagrandes. But then on the 16th is when a special episode that a lot of us are anticipating, Utter Mess, the episode with Roddy and choosing between Lincoln and Sid for the day. Which, by the way, I was right about the plot synopsis being that Roddy wins tickets to Dairyland. I don't know how I was right about that, but I was. But I'm so excited for that episode. And Teacher's Fret, of course. That's probably going to be the episode that's going to, you know, like, just change the fandom forever, because Lincoln's coming back in the show, and Yeah, that's the episode I'm looking forward to the most. And it's 2 days after my birthday, so maybe Nick was looking out for me. I call it my late birthday gift. It's our 2-day late birthday gift, so that's all that matters. Are you excited for that episode? The one where Lincoln's coming back in the Casagrandes? You looking forward to that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. And then on the 17th, we have more brand new episodes of Casagrandes. These got announced like 2 days ago, so I get to read descriptions. The first one is I Breakfast Bot. Roddy and her cousins hatch a plan to have Sid's Breakfast Bot do their chores, all of them. And then the next one is Dynamic Do-Over. When Carl's dreams are crushed after meeting El Falcone, Bobby decides to take on the role himself. So, I'm like looking forward to the Roddy and one with their making breakfast boxes, their chores. I mean, it sounds fun, but I don't really know. It doesn't sound interesting to me. But the Bobby and Carl one I'm looking forward to the most because I liked their episode Slink or Swim. That was a cute episode for them. So I'm looking forward to seeing more Bobby and Carl together. It's gonna be a really cute episode. And then on the 18th, we have the last set of brand new episodes of Casagrandes, Home Improvement. Laird is nervous to host movie night at his house, so Rodian helps him pretend Arturo's pad is his own. And Undivided Attention, Carlota can't seem to pay attention to anything but her phone, so Carlos sets her up with a math tutor. So Carlota gets a second episode of season 2. I mean, good for her. Yeah, that's good for her. Like, she gets 2 episodes this season. And Laird gets a focus episode, the first focus episode for Laird. I'm kind of upset Sid hasn't gotten a focus episode before Laird or even Adelaide, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that one just because Laird gets a focus episode. But are you excited for more episodes of the Casagrandes coming out?
I am.
Do any of these episodes interest you besides the Lincoln one?
Probably the one with the math tutor and the Adelaide one.
Yeah. They all sound pretty interesting, so they're gonna be good episodes for sure. And the reason we're gonna have another episode bomb where episodes air each day, and there's gonna be 2 each day, is because they're bringing back the Smarty Pants challenge. So they're gonna try out another bomb just so they can do the Smarty Pants challenge again on Nickelodeon, which I don't really like that, but what can you do? Alright, then the final piece of news for this week, besides episode news, because there's a lot of episode news, is that the Casagrandes is finally out on DVD. Season 1 of the DVD is out now, so you can purchase it. Everybody else has gotten it before me. I have to wait because I used to have Prime, I don't have it anymore, so I gotta wait a couple days for the DVD to come to me. But it's pretty cool, like, the DVD inside has all the episodes on them, which is pretty neat. Well, except that someone made a blunder. They accidentally switched Boo Boo Business and Blunder Party descriptions, and it's out of place. But other than that, it's great to have it on DVD. Are you gonna get the Casagrandes on DVD or no?
I might, but then again, I might not. But I love the Casagrandes either way.
Yeah, same here. I'm just gonna have it for my collection. But yes, that is all the news this week for the Loud House of the Casagrandes. Again, it's a lot because of those episode descriptions, but not too much, because I want to jump right into episode reviews. So we're going to be talking about all 4 episodes that premiered last week for the Loud House and the Casagrandes. So we're going to start out with the first episode, which is No Bus, No Fuss. Lincoln and his friends try to find another way to get to school after a run-in with the 8th grade bullies on the bus. So, what do you think about this episode, No Bus, No Fuss, the bullying episode?
This episode was quite the experience. Lincoln and his buddies meet some a couple of bullies. They get bullied, so they try to find ways to get to school without having to encounter them in some way. But the end is kind of is how a bullying episode is done right, at least in my opinion. Like standing up for yourself and just learn to not bully people, because that'll just set you up for some trouble if you just like not bully. That's it's a pretty good episode. Anyway, I would recommend that for people of all ages. And yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Like this is like it's a decent episode. Like I don't think it's like a top tier episode, but the strengths of the episode where Lincoln and his friends finally stand up to the bullies, it worked. It's not that's sadly like it happens in every bullying episode. Like you teach them that you have to stand up to the bullies, but it's not always gonna be like that in real life. It's not always gonna be that's not always gonna work in real life, but it was still a nice ending for this episode where Lincoln and his friends saw that because him and his friends stopped taking the bus, the bullies decided to bully everybody else, which yeah is obviously true. So like Lincoln was like, well, we should all team up and stand up to the bullies, and I loved how confident Lincoln was in this episode and being like, well, I'm not alone. I have my friends to back me up, and everybody else on the bus to back us up, and that's what I really liked about the ending. Like, the gags of them trying to find ways to get, to school were fine. Like, I know some of my friends really enjoyed those parts. I didn't really find them that great, especially why does Lincoln keep trusting Flip? I don't know. Like, I was like, remember the last time you guys bought like a boat from Flip and your boat sank? Why do you trust him to like send you guys in the airplane? I don't know. But other than that, it was a really solid episode. I think, yeah, I do agree. Everybody should watch this episode, especially if you're going through a hard time, like getting bullied in real life, and, maybe you need some help figuring out how to deal with them. Again, standing up to them might not always help, but it is the best solution to, show that you're strong compared to a bully who's always weak, just picking on you and stuff. But yeah, I really liked this episode. They handled it really well, that's for sure. And not like a certain other episode about bullying they did in the past. They did a good job on this one. All right, and the next episode is Resident Upheaval. Lincoln and Clyde are at odds when they discover there's only one room for their grandmas at Sunset Canyon. So did you like the Click and McCloud episode, the one about them fighting over their grandmas?
yep. Um, uh, the one thing I'm kind of surprised about this episode is that they actually got one of my favorite voice actors, my favorite actresses in this show, Loretta Devine. She's an angel. Uh, uh, Nana Gale is a pretty sweet lady that I've seen from this show so far, and uh, I don't know what to say. This is she's just interesting. Uh, the the lengths the boys will go to just to get their grandma their room, a spot in the resting place. So I forgot what that place was called, but it's it's nice to know that both of these boys actually care so much about about their family members, and as well as inadvertently putting their friendship to the test just to see if they'll be the ones getting the room. The outfit stuff, though, they were kind of hilarious. It took me a while to realize that there was a coconut on Lincoln's head.
Yeah, same here. I forgot there was a coconut on his head.
Oh my god. Oh, oh god. Okay. Yeah, so for the most part, it was a true battle. It was a true battle putting their friendship to the test and everything. It was an experience.
Yeah, yeah, I was really excited for this episode because this is the first or second time we've had a Click McCloud fight in the show, because the last time was Intern for the Worst. But this episode does a better job at it, just because yeah, like the lengths that Lincoln and Clyde went to help out their grandmas, especially because Myrtle. But I love how Lincoln is so supportive of that and calling her his grand is really sweet. And seeing Nana Gale Nana Gale for the first time, very sweet lady. Like I'm really happy we finally get to see her since like Clyde has mentioned his Nana Gale before. We never got to see her, so like she's a sweet little angel, and I love that. And again, the lengths that these boys went to support their grandmas and get them in the room at Sunset Canyon was really sweet. Like, because again, intern for the worst, it was more like they were being super selfish about being like the best worker there for Flip, whereas here they were doing it out of the goodness of their hearts, even though in the end they had to like argue and compete against each other, dress as their grandmas to get the room. But then Scoots knew they like. I love that Scoots knew that they were lying. It was like I knew it was you guys the whole time. So I love that Scoots wasn't stupid and didn't fall for their disguises, which would have been so easy to do. But she was like, "Nah, I knew it was both of you, and you'll get the room because you both cheated." Like that was really great, and I love that in the end, like Myrtle and Nana Gale are roommates now at Sunset Canyon. So both their grandmas are now friends, just like their friends. Like I remember Clyde saying like, "Oh, they're getting along so well, just like how we met." I was like, "Oh, Clyde, that was so cute. Like that was so sweet." But yeah, I think of all these episodes, besides one we'll talk about later, I think this is my favorite one, just because I love Click and McCloud episodes, and it was a nice change of pace for them. But I'm also excited for the next Clink and McCloud fight argument episode we'll get with the Glee Club episode. But yeah, I always enjoy Clink and episode. Like it just felt like it always feels like they go back to their roots with these episodes. So I'm like, yeah, a nice little Clink and episode always puts a smile on my face, and I really enjoyed this episode a lot. So I thought it was a really good time. All right, so then we're gonna move over to the Casagrandes. The first episode of the Casagrandes was Guilt Trip. Oh wait, was it Guilt Trip? Was it Guilt Trip or a short?
Yep.
It was Guilt Trip. Yes, I was trying to remember which order it was. It's Guilt Trip. Yes. Oh my gosh, Guilt Trip. Radian and her Radian and why does it say that? Her primas. It's not that. It's Bobby. I'll say it again. Radian and Bobby try to win a trip around the world for Maria. So did you like this episode, Guilt Trip, the Bobby and Radian episode?
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy. Well, well, I wouldn't say crazy, but more of an experience. I know I said that for the last one, but I'm gonna be redundant for this one,
That's
just
okay.
because.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
So, Guilt Trip, like there were some funny parts here and there, like for the first time they try to win a trip, I couldn't believe they actually got they technically the they won the trip on the first spin for Ronnie Ann, and
Yeah.
then something happened. She'd hit the wheel or something, and then instead won something else. But that's, I don't know why, but that kind of made me laugh, giggle a little, at least a little bit. But and uh, and not only that, there was a I want to say poor Bobby, poor Bobby for some reason, because uh like he had to like they may they did a lot of stuff to him in this episode, and I kind of feel bad for laughing, but at the same time I don't, because like for some reason this this abuse is, for some reason it's just insane. But the the dance-a-thon thing was kind of uh interesting as well. Well, I really liked the ingenuity that Ronnie had for this one, like increase their chances of actually winning a trip or something like that, like getting the entire family involved. But unfortunately, that didn't go so well. But I kind of felt bad for Ronnie Ann for the most part, and especially Bobby, because they went through a whole lot of stuff just to do something nice for their mom. But the end, the end was actually really sweet. It's just to the fact that she'll take anything she can get in order to have a good time with her with her two children. But That's I see that as a win for me.
Yeah, like I love this episode because, I like the show really hasn't had a Bobby and Ronnie in focus episode. And they're siblings. And we barely see them hang out in the show. And the one thing I really wanted from the Casagrandes was to see more Bobby and Ronnie in bonding. But we've barely seen that in the show. Like, Bobby's done his own thing, and Ronnie and usually hangs out with Sid. And it's like, why don't you hang out with any of your other family members or your brother for that matter? Like, you two have lived with each other for so long. Why don't you two, like, hang out or something? So I love that this episode was like Bobby and Ronnie had felt awful for, feeling like a burden to their mother because, like Rosa told them, once you guys were born, your mother couldn't go on the trip around the world. She couldn't do what she wanted because you two came into this world and she had to take care of you guys. And Ronnie's like, Mom didn't get to go on her trip because of us. So it felt like a big burden on them that they felt like a burden to their mother because she didn't get to do what she wanted to do. So they went to so many lengths to get this trip for their mom. Like, again, trying to get the trip to Korea, which technically they did win. Like, that was a little unfair. Like, she just hit the wheel. Like, come on, give it to her. Like, she should have got it, or ate the gigantic pizza, or hit the, or beat the sumo wrestler, or again the dance contest, which I like that the whole family got involved in that. I kind of wish Sid could have been this episode because Sid and Roddy and are both K-pop dancers. So maybe if Sid would have been this episode, maybe her and Roddy could have won the dance contest together. But I do like that it still kept to the focus on Bobby and Roddy and being the ones that are hyper focused on getting their mother, this trip. And then in the end, like when Maria finds out that they did all this stuff just to get the trip for her, she was like, "Well, you guys are my greatest adventure ever." Like, I don't know what I would like. I would have loved going around the world, but I love that I got to take care of you guys, and that's so sweet. Like, I want to see more of that in the show. Like, the relationship between the Santiagos, because I know it's the Casagrandes, but Roddy is the main character, and again, we haven't seen her and Bobby in an episode like together. Like, we saw them kind of in the Christmas episode, but like a full episode about them bonding and hanging out and doing something for their mother was something where I was like, yes, this is what I want to see more from the show. Like, I'm fine with Roddy and hanging out with Sid and having little adventures with her, but it would be nice to get more moments of her and her mother and her brother, because like her and her mother had that one episode in season one, and then that was it. Or her and Arturo have had moments together, but more like Operation Dad, that was it. Like, I really want to see more of Roddy and hanging out with her actual family than like more of her friends and stuff. But yeah, this episode was super sweet. It's probably my favorite Casa Grande season 2 episode just because it features a pairing that we haven't seen in the show at all. Like Bobby and Roddy and together as siblings. Like, this is the episode I wanted, and it's the episode I still want. Like, I want to see more of these two together. So yeah, I think this is the best season 2 episode so far. I love this episode. I think it's great. It's absolutely great. All right, and then
Yep.
yep, and then the final episode is Shortcut. When Carlota fails at hair cutting, she trains with CJ, the master barber. So, what do you think about this episode, the Carlota and CJ episode?
Well, this one was kind of interesting. Like for for one thing, I didn't know CJ was that good with hair stuff, but it's nice to it's another nice episode where family helps out one another, the but it's kind of, oh god, it's uh, well let's see. I think that uh for this charade was really good for a while, but the thing that kind of got me for some reason was Carl's hair, and the running gag with Carl's hair pretty much like he like his hairline was like pretty much mostly gone, and and that kind of got me with the way Carl was freaking out and screaming. Well, I think, and the the lengths that she would go just to make sure she passes and get that thing, get her well, get her like thing that she was desired to have, uh and only for all of that, only for that Sergio to mess it all up for in the end. but the thing that I didn't understand is that okay, that the twist ending, I swear it was like I did not see that coming at all. Like I didn't know that camera had night vision and stuff. But yeah, yeah. So Sergio may be like a little jerk when it comes to certain stuff like that, but yeah. But in the end, it was kind of sweet that her teacher would give her a chance instead of just throwing it all away. But it's an overall it's a nice episode.
Yeah, like, while I'm not, like, the biggest fan of this episode, I think it's just, kind of an okay episode. I'm starting to, some of the episodes with no Roddy in it that don't really, are starting to not engage me as much. Like, I remember, feeling that way about the Carl episode. I was like, oh, well, we've had better Carl episodes than the kid plays in the picture, and Carlota just doesn't seem to be an interesting character to me. I just think every time she gets a focus episode, the other character that's paired with her or the family is more interesting than her. Like CJ, man, CJ, I didn't know he was that talented with cutting hair. Like, I was more interested in how CJ became a hair cutter than Carlota wanted to become a hair cutter. But Loud Casa Talk said this, and I do like that this episode shows that we do have a field of study. Like we're interested in something, or we're majoring something, or studying something, but there's always going to be that one thing that we're taking a class for, or skill or something that we're not going to be good at, and we have to find ways of getting help or improving on that and stuff. And yeah, the twist ending was kind of funny. Just there was I didn't know the camera had night vision, which, by the way, I like that. I love that Casagrandes always has continuity. So I was really happy to see that Sergio still had his camera from Cursed, where he got it, and then he had used it here, which I think was, again, great continuity. They always do a good job on that. So again, pat on the back to you, Casagrandes, for always being consistent with your continuity. And I didn't really care for Bobby just showing up and be like, oh hey, I have a date with Flory or something, or he's like, oh hey, Margarita, when Lalo has Margarita's hair. That was pretty funny. But yeah, the parts with Carl were funny. Just when when Carlota made his hair look like Hector's, and he's like, I look like a Pueblo, and he was freaking out. Carl's always the best, no matter what he's in. But yeah, no, it was again, a fine episode. Again, I was more focused on CJ than Carlota, and again, I'm not really looking forward to having another Carlota episode, because she just doesn't bring much to as a main character, like her VIP. I just didn't really care for her. I thought the family is more funny than her, but I liked this episode just because they're keeping the continuity that Carlota is in beauty school and wants to graduate from there and improve her skills and stuff, and bringing back Margarita and some of the other characters in this episode was cool. Again, continuity is great in the show, so yeah, I think it was a fine episode. I think it was a better episode for CJ than Carlota, so yeah, I think it was a good episode for sure. Alright, so yes, that is all the episodes that came out and all our reviews. So, Ink, I want to say thank you so much for coming on to my show today and talking about these episodes with me. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem, dude. I mean,
you can call me dude. It's okay. It's alright. I call people man all the time, so yes, you can call me dude. That's coolio, dude. Alright, so before we go, is there any social media or anything you want to plug on my show before we go?
You can follow me on my Instagram at Inkiemendto, as well as Twitter with the same name. Also, I have a DeviantArt. I'll be posting some more stuff there, Inkling Bear. And I have a fan fiction page where I'm writing a novel at Haikuma D.
Okay, so make sure you check out all his art because again, his art is amazing. I don't know why you wouldn't be checking it out, but it's incredible. So I recommend following on every social media platforms. He's art and fan fiction, of course. And of course, as for me, if you have any as for me, if you have any questions about the podcast or want to discuss the podcast with me, you can contact me over at XStudyClips on Twitter or at the podcast's Twitter, CasaLoud Chats. And I will say we'll see you next time because I don't know how I'm gonna make the next show work because I do have a special guest on for what is going to be this week's episodes, the Lenny and Lisa episodes and the other Casagrande ones. But for Monday, we also have those other episodes. So I tried to decide how that's going to work. I might just record an episode for all those episodes with that guest. But yes, my next guest will be My Chiller on Twitter. That's my next first time guest on the show. So I'm very excited to have them on the show as I did with Ink on the show today. So yes, make sure you follow me on the Twitter and the podcast, of course, at CasaLoud Chats. And we'll see you all next time on CasaLoud Chats.